All right, so oftentimes we want to write the equation of a line. So we want some sort of relationship between the x and y values, where if we give it an x value, we can calculate the corresponding y value. And so that's what we're going to talk about next, is how to come up with the equation for a line. And in order to do that, we're going to take this line L, and we have 2 points. We have a fixed point here. We have some fixed point here. And then, but this one's a little different. This we're going to call a variable point. Variable point. All right. It's just some arbitrary point that where we could change the values to whatever we want. All right. So, but we can calculate the slope between those 2 points, right? So I'm going to calculate the slope by taking the difference in the y values and the difference in the x values. So x minus x1. And I can rearrange that equation into, like if I multiply both sides by this quantity x minus x1, right? Multiplying both sides by x minus x1. Then you can see that these will cancel. And what I'm left with is, I'm going to write this the other way around because multiplication is commutative. It can multiply things in any order. X minus x1 is equal to y minus y1. Okay. But what I want is some sort of relationship where I can, put in x and calculate a y value. So I want to rearrange this and write an equation for y in terms of x. Now I could just switch this around, right? This is the same thing as y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. All right, so that is actually called the point slope form of a line. It's the point slope form of the equation for a line. So let's copy that down here. Y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. So x1, y1 is our fixed point. The x comma y is our variable point. All right. So let's see how that works when in example 6. We want to find the equation of a line that passes through the point 1, 2 and has a slope of 2. All right. So if we know the slope and we know a point, then we can just call this is our fixed point. This is x1, y1, and we can just plug those values into the equation. So we get y minus 3 is equal to 2 times x minus 1, right? 2 is our slope, 1, 3 is our fixed point. Now I can rearrange this if I want to, because oftentimes it's nice to have an equation for y in terms of x. So, but that's not necessary. This is actually fine, and this is actually called the point slope form of a line, right? So this is the point slope form. Oops, point slope form of a line. Okay. Now, if I want an equation for y in terms of x, I can just distribute this 2, right? So this side becomes 2x minus 2, and then I can add 3 to both sides. So I have, and then I have y by itself on one side. And I can clean up this other side a little bit more, and it becomes 2x minus 2 plus 3 is just plus 1. So we call this the slope-intercept form of a line, which we're going to get to. Intercept form of a line. And we call it slope-intercept just because basically we can read the slope off of it. The slope is 2, and the y-intercept is 1. All right? We'll get to that. So y-intercept occurs when x is equal to 0. So when x is equal to 0, y is 1. So that 1 value is our y-intercept. So it's often called the slope-intercept form. All right. So I will meet you in the next video for the next example.